Matt Park and I wanted to take some awesome student ID photos for our student IDs. Uh, you see, it was a thing at Whitworth College where people would always dress up in a certain costume, like put mustaches on or cowboy hats or some crazy things like that. And so we wanted to push it to the edge. And being theater majors, we had access to makeup. Yes, I was actually probably more used to putting on lipstick and eyeliner than my then girlfriend, Liz, who is now my wife. Don't worry, we're still together. Well, what we did was Matt dressed up as a homeless guy, a hobo. And so he had dirt on his face, and he had the whole hat and everything, and it sort of was sort of pushing the envelope because he also had a brown paper bag with a water bottle in it. You couldn't tell that it was water though. It really looked like he was taking a little nip, if you know what I mean. And so I remember at one point when we were walking across campus to get our photos taken, he took a swig from the brown paper bag and, and said something really kind of incoherently in a slurred manner. He was, of course, within earshot of a whole bunch of very, very studious students, and they just kind of looked at this hobo who got onto campus. And then, of course, Matt's response was sprinting away as fast as he could when 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 he found out that they heard him. All purposeful, of course. Well, you're probably wondering what I dressed up as for these student ID photos. Why am I talking about this? Is it really that exciting? Oh, no, no, no. We got in huge, huge trouble for this. I really hadn't been called into the dean of students before this. Dick Mandeville was his name. And so before we got called in, of course, we had to get our photos taken. And well, I've always wondered if it would be possible to change my ethnicity. Now, before you think that's all offensive and whatnot, I took some classes on stage makeup. And one of my classmates, she not only changed her gender using makeup, but she also changed her ethnicity. She looked like Morgan Freeman. It was quite awesome. And I was like, oh man, I want to do that. That's so cool. Well, I dressed up as a Hispanic man, um, with 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 the striped shirt, and the giant sombrero might have been a little far, but hey, I wanted to make sure that people knew that I was from Mexico. And I had the mustache, and I had the dark complexion and all that and everything. I did have a paint roller with me, which some may look at that and be like, "Wow, that's really offensive because you're profiling this individual as someone who is into painting walls." But hey, you know what? For the most part, I have a lot of Mexican friends, and some of them have been known to be very, very skilled construction workers. I thought it was a compliment. Well, not according to some people who have maybe a little too sensitive of an emotional streak within their souls, and they just kind of don't like it when you do something borderline edgy, because I will admit not a lot of people would dress up as a hobo and a Mexican for their student ID photos. So we walked in there, and the guy taking the pictures was like, "Oh, okay, all right, this is great. As long as I can actually see your facial features, that's really what matters. It doesn't matter if you have like a hat on or anything like that. You just need to know that this facial structure, this is Bo Shevasu." So he took the photos. And well, a few days later, we got an email that said that we had to come into the Dean of Students' office. Uh-oh. And speak with Dick. Well, he called us both in, and he said, "I don't know if you know each other, but this is Bo, and then this is Matt. And the reason why I called you in together was that you did something very similar with your student ID photos." And we actually said, "Well, we actually know each other very well. We're basically roommates." Uh, we, we, we actually went and took the pictures together. And he went, "Oh, is that right? Well, Matt, I just need to tell you that some people were slightly offended because you were representing, how did he put it? You were representing a certain uh, financial demographic, basically a poor person, a bum on the streets." And he was like, "No, that's offensive. These people need to be, they are proud of their lifestyle, and they shouldn't be um, duplicated and acted upon. Oh, no, 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 no. Exploiting these people." Really. So Matt was like, "Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go and retake my picture." And then Dick turned to me and he said, "Well, we had a student purposefully complain about you." And he said, "What you did was very offensive to change your ethnicity." He didn't even mention my paint roller. I don't think you could really tell that it was a paint roller in the photo. He just noticed that I had changed my ethnicity. Well, what we did when we went back to get our pictures retaken, of course, we just couldn't do our own faces. We had to do something different. so, so Matt ended up being ice, and I was fire. Yes, fire and ice. We still took advantage of our little makeup kit, and I was this bright red face, and my hair was like painted bright red, and I had a fire. No, 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 no. Matt was holding a fire extinguisher behind me. You couldn't see him, but you could see that. And I had a Zippo lighter, and I was holding it up kind of like this, as if I was creating this flame. And then Matt, he was ice, and it was so cool because he was like this bright blue face, and it really looked as if he was a corpse who had been sitting in a meat freezer for a week. It was so creepy looking. And what he actually did was he got plastic wrap and he wrapped it around his hands so it looked as if there was frozen ice stuck to him. And he had, as I was like making flames on my Zippo lighter, he was making an ice cube which he was holding, and the saran wrap, the plastic wrap, was stretching out and touching the ice cube, and it looked so awesome. And if you're wondering what was behind him, I was holding up a mini fridge, which are not mini in the slightest. They're quite large pieces of appliances. So that was our Whitworth student ID photos, and I still have those cards that I'm holding on to. They're so cool. I did feel a little guilty for getting in trouble, but not that guilty.